and welcome to another episode of the LBD Wisdom Booth. We have a very special guest here with us today, Dr. Uju Agomoh, who is a member of the United Nations Sub-Committee on the Prevention of Torture, the Executive Director and Founder of PRAWA, Prisoners Rehabilitation and Welfare Action. She is also a Shepherd of Sub-Committee of the Living by Design Nation. She's the Director of the LBD Events and Planning, and she's the LBD Growth Advancement Doctor 1. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
My first question here is, there is an environment, a climate, a location, a uniqueness that is capable of exposing your uniqueness, and this is a niche. So what can you describe as the perfect environment for a niche? With all the noise of social media and the world, how do you discover your place?
Thank you very much. I think that this is really the most important question anyone should ask themselves, and it is in finding the answer to this that you actually mark your success. You remember that we have been told in the Bible that we are all beautifully and wonderfully made. Each one of us come with a special thing that is unique to us. Each one of us come with an assigned purpose, and that's why you have fingerprints that can only be identified to a particular person. That's the uniqueness in it. So you ask, how do I find my niche? It's the same as saying, how do I find my purpose? Because it is only in you operating in your sphere of purpose that you can really excel. So what is that niche? I'll give some few examples. So you are looking at something that you are able to do in such a manner that you can excel more than any other. The first and foremost, you need to see what you have been endowed with. And that reminds me of a particular book that is called The Purpose-Driven Life. So if you haven't read that book, make sure you do get it. It's by Rick Warren, The Purpose-Driven Life. And in that book, one thing was made clear, and he used the acronym SHAPE. So he says, for you to be able to find your purpose, identify your shape. And what does shape mean? It means S, your spiritual gifts. H, your heart's desire. A, your ability. P, your personality. E, the experiences that you have. Because it feels, it's like all of this actually is the way that God had coded the things He had assigned you to. So when you are able to identify these things, then you can ask yourself, what are the kinds of assignment, the kind of job that one will do well when one is actually endowed with all of these circumstances? So I give you an example. What do you find yourself enjoying when you do it? Because if you can identify what it is that you really enjoy when you are doing it, you will find out that you like doing that thing. And it is in the place of liking to do it that you can begin to keep doing it, then you keep becoming perfect. They say practice makes what? Perfect. And because you enjoy it, you won't get tired. Because you enjoy it, it won't look like it's work for you. It's almost like leisure. Yeah? So when you note all of that, I also want you to go and identify the kind of things that people tell you know how to do. I'm not talking about what you went to read in the school or in the university. I'm talking about things that others will tell you that you do well. It may be about smiling, it may be about cooking, it may be about whatever it is. So if you are able to get all of these things, and then you begin to ask the critical question, what kind of work, what kind of value, what kind of service, what kind of activity can I do that requires this little bit of these things? There is one key thing I want to say before your next question. Part of the critical problem in our lives is that we have not spent time, both us and our parents, both us and our guardian, in finding an answer to this critical question. Because if we find that answer, we can encourage people to even go and study more things along those areas. So imagine going to study something that is your hobby. If you look at the Bible, you remember the story of Peter. You remember the story of Peter when the Bible told us that he went to fish all night. So he was not a lazy man. But he caught what? Nothing. So until he got to a point where Jesus had finished using his boat, he said to him, put it here. Dip your net here. And Peter said, look, I have been working on that, but at your word I will do. And we know the outcome of that. There was a great success. There was a great harvest. So we must ask ourselves, where is that sphere of operation? Where is that location? Where is that city? Where is that nation that God have assigned us to? Not I want to japa because everybody's doing. Not I want to live here because my friend that is living there seems to be successful. But to ask yourself, where is it that God is sending me to? And what assignment is God sending me to? Once you find that, you smile to the banks.
Given today's present digital ecosphere, what do you suggest young people should build that will last? A lot of our parents who grew up in the older days believe in hands-on skills, hard work, things that they can see that can actually bring money. But a lot of young content creators online are making money from their digital skills online. YouTube, data analysis, you have graphic design, and a lot of other things. What do you suggest to parents who have this idea of the set type of skills, and how do you advise young people who have a desire to make money from digital skills, and where should they start?
Okay, so I think it is a question that speaks to what happens when we have different experiences in life. It is a question that talks about the generational gap. So the first thing I think needs to be done is that we all need to talk to ourselves. But I also think that the most important thing is not about what is in the older generation or what is in the newer generation. It is about, again, what have God brought you to do in this world. Because even in this newer generation, you find people who can still strive in doing those skills that you may call old school. Okay? So I think that the question here is to find out how can we leverage on what is available. But whatever it is, whether it is in the kind of jobs and skills that our parents were involved in or these newer skills, I think the most important thing I would also want to add to the earlier one I said is that technology is important. Whatever you are doing, leverage on whatever aspect of technology that can enhance that work. You can still use digital knowledge and platforms to expand your scope. So in terms of creating visibility, in terms of wider reach, you can't underestimate the power of technology. But we need to operate in our place of assignment. We can't, it's like taking a fish. You throw that fish out of the river. No matter how big that fish is, no matter how skillful that fish is, it's not going to do well. So when we talk about creating a niche, operating in your niche, when we talk about functioning in your place of assignment, when we talk about actually actualizing your purpose, it is like taking somebody who knows how to swim and then you put the person in water and then let the person follow the wave and the torrent of the water. You see that the person will get speed. You see the person will achieve with very little effort. And that's success. And that being excellent. And that being a champion. Thank you.